Hey everybody, welcome to our little dinosaur design thing here. We're going to continue with the Theropod, and I thought instead of doing an illustration, we might do a concept, like just a side pose maybe, and some action poses, some detail, call outs. We'll see. Welcome, Chase. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
So, how was your weekend?
It was all right. Yesterday was a pretty good day at work, so I was able to get done early, and afterwards I decided to spend my time watching movies I haven't watched before.
Cool. Yeah, I did as well. Well, it didn't work. I did some chores as always on Sunday, but I did do watch some movies. I did watch some movies. I did watch a movie actually, which I talked about in the Discord. That's Jurassic World Dominion, and I sorely
Yeah,
regret
I did
that.
not watch that.
It's better. It's better that you didn't. It was disappointing, to say the least.
Nemo watched Jurassic World Dominion. I watched Hamlet. So very different.
That's probably
Movies
better.
we watched. Oh, it was a masterpiece.
I don't think I've ever watched that one. I mean, that specific movie version of Hamlet. I mean,
Yeah, it's 4 hours long.
wow.
Uh, and it's the only adaptation of Hamlet that uses every single scene from the play, which is pretty interesting. But it's magnificent. It's definitely worth watching if you have the time to get it or watch it.
Nice. I might one day. I'm only.
Hamlet
I don't
is
think I've ever read a play or seen the play played. The whole thing, just parts of it.
yeah. Hamlet is obviously an absolutely magnificent play. It's not Shakespeare's best play, but it's definitely up there. Uh, but this is definitely the best adaptation of a Shakespeare play I've seen in film, so
Mhm.
definitely worth it. Because I know David Tennant. There was a David Tennant version of Hamlet, the guy who played Doctor Who or whatever,
Yeah.
and uh, that was an okay adaptation. I didn't like some of the choices they make in that. An example I was talking with Sam about this is that in the scene where Hamlet goes to the graveyard and talks to the gravekeeper,
Yeah.
and that's where he gets Yorick's skull. In the David Tennant version, they kind of play that as comedic,
Oh.
which is weird. So, like, when he grabs the skull, he's kind of like, "Oh, Yorick, I knew him well," and it's like it's not very serious. But the thing is, like, the reason why that scene is so great in the original Hamlet is like it's a comedy scene at first, and as soon as Hamlet gets the skull of Yorick, the jester, that's when he actually gets serious and has like a very contemplative, you know, he's thinking about mortality, right?
Yeah.
And so the way Shakespeare goes from comedy to immediately into drama or something more serious is like magnificent. And the idea of treating that as like it's one big comedy scene doesn't, it kind of lessens the impact. Like and there's also a sort of dramatic irony about the fact that it's a comedy scene, and as soon as Hamlet holds the skull of a jester, it becomes serious, which is not what you would expect. But
Right.
it's because the jester was somebody who was important to him when he was a child.
No. Well, I've never watched that version either, so. But this one seems better than the one you watched yesterday. So if I had to choose, I would probably choose this if I ever watch it.
I mean, it just like, yeah, the Branagh version does it right because it does start out as comedic. I mean, the gravekeepers are supposed to be comedy characters. And then when Hamlet starts talking about the skull and mortality, I mean, that's one of the best scenes in the entire play when he's holding the skull and then
Yeah,
he's
also the
thinking
most
about,
famous.
do you think, Alexander the Great is also buried under the ground? And Horatio says, even so. And the whole idea is like, even kings, gravekeepers, they all end the same. They're all buried in the ground
Yeah.
at the end. So it doesn't matter how great your life is, at the end you're still going to end up in the ground. It's like a really deep and contemplative meditation on mortality, and in the David Tennant version they kind of treat it as a joke, which I didn't like.
That's kind of sad. Yeah, it's a pretty serious moment. Well, some people do it well, and some people do it really, really badly. So, there's probably worse than that in any case. I'm pretty sure nowadays adaptations do way worse than making serious scenes become comedic. Actually, I'm pretty sure they do. Or I know they do.
Well, adaptations nowadays they're all sort of gimmicks, right? Like, what if we took Hamlet but made all of the characters women, or what if we like that one Othello adaptation where they made everyone except Othello black. So like in the original Othello, right? Othello was a Moor, and that people interpret it as being black, although that's not really historically accurate. Yeah. But still, I mean, the point is, like, they took the idea and they made Othello white, and then everyone else is black. So it's like little gimmicks like that they like to do, but otherwise the substance is, I don't know. It's too much politics, is what I'm saying.
No, as always nowadays. Even the movie yesterday was much like that, unfortunately. But apart from that, which is already pretty annoying, it's just the poor writing that is. I don't know. I am not a writer, but I could have written something better than that. It doesn't take much, really. It doesn't take much at all.
Well, the unfortunate reality is that a lot of people don't care about good writing. They kind of see movies as a way to shut off your brain and, just entertain yourself for a couple of hours.
I'm still not even entertained. I don't know. I didn't find it entertaining either. So, I wasn't expecting it, obviously, to be any deep or anything, but it still was pretty disappointing because it was just not fun. So, in the end, it's like, am I really going to spend my time this way or not?
Well, I mean,
I give it a chance. But
the original Jurassic Park was a very entertaining and fun movie, but it also had a lot of great writing.
Yeah,
there were deep themes to it. But I guess what I'm saying is, as a culture, we've come a long way from that point where even blockbusters had good writing, and now it's just like the most vapid, brainless stuff you see in theaters. And then like really good stuff doesn't do well, so
it is unfortunate, but true. Yeah, no. It's back in the days. It used to be that every now and then a good movie would come out. Now it's like almost never.
I mean, like really the peak time. Yeah, the peak time for that was the 80s, where a lot of the movies were not only entertaining and had wide appeal, but they also had good writing. Like Ghostbusters is a great example.
Oh, yeah.
Ghostbusters is just a wonderful movie, and it was also really popular. And it's like, now every attempt to do that, we saw that with like Ghostbusters 2016 and whatnot. Yeah.
I wouldn't call that a movie anyway. Oh well, hopefully one day.
I think I've only seen
because
I was gonna say I think I've only seen bits and pieces of Ghostbusters Afterlife, the most recent one, and it seemed a bit better than the 2016 one, but I also just didn't get the same feeling, as the original.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems to be a theme. The fact that nowadays movies have to be completely not movies, but things that happen in movie, they have to be completely without consequences. So nothing really means anything, which is annoying AF. It's really annoying because nothing happens basically. If what people do doesn't matter, then why bothering at that point?
Somehow Palpatine has returned.
Somehow,
great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nothing at all matters, so why bothering doing it? It's really annoying. But I guess that's how things work nowadays. Nowadays.
A lot of people just aren't literate, though. And I don't. When I say literate, I don't mean like they can't read. It's that they, when they read something, they don't know how to read. Right? Like, well, to give you an example, this might shock you or might not, but I was reading a poll or a survey the other day, and 25% of adult Americans, on average, do not read. Like, they haven't read a
25%?
book. Yeah, a quarter of Americans. I don't know how it is for other countries, but like, yeah, a quarter of adults have not read a book in the past year. And I'm saying like one book at all.
A year?
Yeah, they don't even do a book a year.
Oh god, I hope this is... Wait a second, this cannot be. Okay. Oh god. So... Wait, 58.6? Are you kidding?
Of what?
So it's like, okay, I get the opposite statistics. So I get the percentage of people who over 6 years old that read at least one book. It's 41.4. So 58.6 is the percentage of people who did not read at all. Is it serious? I hope not. Jesus.
In
Italy,
I don't see how that could. Okay, yeah, I don't see how that could be possible if you went to school.
Yeah, I mean, it probably means people who read on their own.
Yeah, because I can tell you, like, a lot of people I've seen or talked to, they haven't read a book since they were in school. Like, as soon as they graduated, I don't have to read it anymore.
Oh god, this is true. I mean, 75 plus. Oh, that's okay. These are the age, like around my age, say 25, 34. 45% of people have read at least one book, which means that 54.2 did not read any book. Half the population. Oh Jesus. I have nothing to say. I mean, you can probably... I can kind of tell when I go around that people don't read. You can kind of feel, you know... You interact with someone, or even online, they cannot write, so they do not read, obviously. But that's insane. Oh my god.
It is tragic.
Oh my god. I thought it was around that percentage or less, but it's like double. It's almost 50%, almost one Italian on two did not read any book in a year. I don't know what to say about this. I'm going to leave the country.
And you know what's crazy about that is that this is like the best time in the history of the planet to actually read something.
Of course.
You have so many options. You have so many ways to get books. You have like Kindles, e-readers, even physical books you can find easily online.
God, it's like $5 for a book.
Well, you can find free resources online with all the classics that you can just read if you want. Like, there's tons of options, and people just don't use them.
I don't know what to say. I was not expecting that. Oh my god. That is incredible. I don't know how that can possibly happen. I mean... No, I don't. Actually, no. No, there's just no excuse for this. I'm just completely appalled by this percentage. Oh my god, almost 50%. Oh, hey, Fiddle. Oh, yeah, I forgot because I forgot. So I should have posted it. So let me do it. No. Oh, I need a bot for this.
Yeah, sorry, Fiddle. Nemo and I were talking about reading statistics
So
and kind of.
I seriously don't know what to say exactly because it's such a ridiculous percentage. Literally one of two people you meet in the street did not read a book in the last year. At least one. I'm talking about one book. One book in a year is like nothing. I wouldn't consider reading. I wouldn't consider someone as a person who reads if the person read one book in a year. 10 maybe? 5? At least 2. At least a book a month. Come on, it's not that much. Uh, that's America. Why would you read a book? You guys invented fake? Oh, fake it till you make it. Yeah, just pretend to be smart. Well, I don't know. But Italy's worse. America's 20, what, 25, you said?
Yeah, 25.
Yeah, and here is like 54, around my age. Averaging at 59, considering all ages. That's insane. 60% of the population, considering all ages above 6, did not read a book in the last year? Oh, God.
I also, Saman, I take a little bit of exception at the fact that you say you can just, if you're American, you just pretend to be smart. It's pretty easy to tell when somebody isn't actually that smart, in my opinion.
Yeah. But again, the easiest way for me at least, because a lot of the interactions are online, and you can tell by the way the person writes. You can tell if the person, first, does not read, and second, you can kind of tell what the person reads as well. Because
hey, you see Fiddle's comment? I don't read anything. I only read the books I was forced to in school.
Fiddle.
I think that's what the statistic is saying.
Jesus. Why not? What's wrong with reading books? I mean, I'm not even saying like novels or stories, just books in general. Like you could, like I read books about anything, not just like I read one about Norse mythology a few months ago. Now I'm reading some by Conan Doyle. So it doesn't have to be a story, you know. When I say book, I mean just any book of any kind. That is very sad.
Really, Elizabeth Holmes only in America. Con artists can make a billion. I don't agree with that. I don't think con artists are only successful in America. I think they're successful just about everywhere.
Oh, they are, yeah.
But also that was the Elizabeth Holmes Theranos thing. That was an example of investors buying into hype and not totally understanding what was being sold to them. And that's something that happens when you have people that are interested in a company, but they don't totally understand the technology that's being sold to them. So
Not familiar
you kind of
with the
dumb it
story.
down.
What is it about? The Elizabeth Holmes thing? I don't think I've heard it. I don't even know who she is.
Well, okay, so she was convicted of criminal fraud, right? And it's a long story.
Okay,
but
never
basically
mind.
there was a company called Theranos, which was like a health technology, like a biotechnology company, and they made all kinds of claims about like doing blood tests and using that to come up with like new methods of treatments and whatnot, and it was all BS basically. But there's a lot of investors that were like, yeah, you know, this is interesting. A private company coming up with all of these sort of new innovative ideas for health technology, and so they got a lot of money, and all of it was basically false.
Oh, nice.
But people remember because the face of the company was like this woman named Elizabeth Holmes, and she's like this pretty blonde woman, and she sounded intelligent, and so everyone hyped her up. It's like, yeah, look at this, you know, female CEO. She's a girl boss. She's doing her thing, and she's changing the world.
Okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
the gist.
So people bought into it.
well, things that happen. They happen here as well, anyway, so. Unfortunately. But I actually liked a few books that I have read, which was outside school. Though it was when I was younger. Well, you could try to read something. There's got to be something you like. You're lazy, you say. Oh wait, I skipped your messages because I don't find things that interesting. Like that is the same with story games. I haven't really gotten into it. Mostly why I ain't playing single player games often. Okay, I see. Yeah, but I mean, when I say book, I also mean like, I don't know, a book about quantum gravity. I don't know anything that has any meaning to you. It's got to be something, right? I hope for young kids. Oh, although I know, okay, like my nephew, he doesn't read at all, like nothing. I gave him, I bought a Dragon Ball Super manga for him just so that he could read something, because I want him to read. And it was a stretch for him to do so. That's very sad.
Yeah, listen, I'm not advocating for like fiction or nonfiction because I read both fiction and nonfiction all the time. But the point is like when you read, it isn't like you're just reading because hey, I'm having access to information. Like reading really does restructure your brain in a way that you're contemplating things like the grammar of sentences and structures, and also the way that you're taking information and putting it together as you're reading. It really, I mean, that is a benefit beyond just what the text actually has in it, the meaning of the text. It's flexing your brain and it's forcing you to think about things and make logical connections, and it does make you like a better thinker, just reading anything.
Although writing does more of that. Writing literally makes you think better just by doing it, because it forces you to restructure what you just absorb into something that you not only understand but can explain. So.
Well, sure, but I would contend that there's no good writer who is not also a reader.
Of course, yeah. Obviously, one comes after the other. You cannot be a good writer unless you read.
It's like being an artist and not looking at other people's art.
Yeah.
Coming up with how they did that.
Yeah. You have to concur.
No, I'm just going to paint. I'm not going to look at any other painting styles and understand why they're doing what they're doing. I'm just
so writing my sexual jokes makes me smarter? No, it doesn't. I mean, writing essays like things. Not necessarily just essays, but, trying to restructure what you absorbed. Because you're forced to... When you explain something, you are forced to ingrain it better, because if you didn't understand it, you will not be able to repeat to explain to someone. You can just be a copy machine, just repeat what you heard, because it's not going to make sense to you, and so you will not sound convincing when you write it and then you reread what you wrote.
You'll sound like an NPC.
Pretty much. That's what people sound like nowadays, but you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't really do that, I would say.
I mean, it also gives you a real inner life too, and that's something I notice a lot with people. Is like, I sometimes interact with people, and I wonder if they have any thoughts in their head, if they have like any personality, like in their body, or if they're just kind of wading through life, and it's like, I don't really think about things. I just kind of do stuff, and I don't really think about my life all that much.
Thing.
Yeah,
but you can tell. It's funny because you can tell right away when you meet someone. You can tell right away that they're not only they're not deep thinkers, but they have nothing to offer, and it's extremely sad because I think anyone or everyone should. It's just that I don't know, they're not interested. Maybe reading also makes your imagination stronger. A book it's like a gym for imagination. Yeah, I agree with that.
It does. Yeah.
You can make a full essay. No, when I say essay, I mean with arguments, like actually trying to explain something, which is something I used to do and I am not doing recently because I'm lazy. But I will. I am getting back to writing now. I made some time, a few hours a week to do it. So Restream bot. Why Restream bot? Oh, I guess it was Saman, not Restream bot. I don't think if you have aphantasia, but you have to get it diagnosed anyway. But if your imagination is not there, it's not necessarily because you don't read. They might concur to that, but I don't know. It might also be why some people don't like reading that much because they can't visualize the books and the stories. But again, it's not just about fiction. It's about reading in general. It's very different. I'm not against audiobooks, but I think they're not as good as actual books, because when you read a book, you're gonna notice if you're zoning out. When you're listening to something, you just can't. You can just listen to it, but not be listening for real. So it's a bit of an easy escape. It's like, okay, no, I don't read, but I listen to audiobooks. Yes, but it's not the same thing. Trust me, it's not. I tried
You're
audiobooks.
not processing information the same way.
Yeah.
And also, frankly, I can read faster than I can listen to an audiobook, so I prefer to do it that way anyway.
Yeah. And also I can just go back if I forgot something, or I didn't understand something, I just go back to it. Fiddle, I think you might need to see a psychologist or psychiatrist, maybe. I don't know who could diagnose aphantasia, honestly. There's got to be some kind of doctor who does.
Yes.
It's not a serious disease anyway. It's just some people can imagine, some can't. But if you don't read, it might also be because you're not used to it. Who knows? I don't know if the quote-unquote imagination muscles kind of atrophies if you don't train them. I'm not sure. It might happen. I just don't know. I don't know about much about the topic, so you can't visualize humans revolving backwards. I hope not. Oh, well, some days I think so, but hopefully not. It's okay. AI will take over.
Yeah, I was going to say AI will be our replacement if that's the case.
I
mean, I've talked to AI that are way smarter than the average person, so...
I can say the same thing. We're human beings.
My ex-girlfriend, her memory was not that long.
You can read pretty fast.
Which granted, I've known some people that have bad memories too, but not calling out Nemo, by the way.
Yeah, well, it's not that bad. It is somewhat bad. So it's bad for some things. Not for all of them, unfortunately.
Too much in my head makes me forget pretty easy. Might be one of the reasons why I don't find reading books that satisfying. If that's the case, I suggest just reading a little bit each day. Like maybe read 10 to 15 pages as a start, and then just nail it down. You don't have to feel
15,
bad about
probably
it.
just 10 to 15, say minutes, because some people are slower at reading, so maybe 10 to 15 pages, like an hour. So 10 to 15 minutes to start with. I don't get much time to read at all these days. I get about half an hour, which is like nothing, and it sucks. And I do it
usually before I go to bed.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna do more actually, because I just yesterday Saturday actually, I restructured my routine to include a couple hours of study, like academic reading, basically every week. Since I always want to do it and never find enough time. But just a few minutes a day is fine to start with. Or if that's what you have, that's what you have. Just read something. You will be amazed how fast you can get very quickly. Even if you're a slow reader. I'm not fast. I take my time when I read, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I read a fair amount, but even still, like in an hour to an hour and a half, I read about 50 pages or so.
Yeah,
So,
probably the same. Yeah.
but I mean, if you think about that, though, if you just spend an hour and read 50 pages, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, in 6 days, that's like the average book is around 300 pages. That's it. And you
Yeah, you
read
can read
one
a book
book
per week.
a week.
Or if not per week, one every 2 weeks. But even if you read one book per month, which is not much, that is still 12 books a year. That's why the didn't read even one book in a year statistic is so appalling to me, because it doesn't take much to read a book. Again, read what, 10 pages a day, you get 300 pages in a month. That's one book. Save some days that you don't read, it's still 10 books a year. So which I think is worth it, personally, because you also want to do stuff like you get inspiration. At least I do.
I do as well, yeah.
Flip this image.
I always feel like writing after reading. That's how it always is with me. And when I'm not reading, then I have less interest in writing. So it definitely inspires you.
Oh yeah. I also do that. It depends though. It depends on the book. I did feel a lot like writing something about Frankenstein that I read recently when I read it, and I haven't done it yet, so I am due for that, and I will.
It's funny. I watched Bride of Frankenstein last night.
I don't think I watched that. although there is a lot to say about the book. Like, I disagree with the usual interpretation of the monster being of it all being about the monster and stuff. There's a lot to say about that. I did like the book, but I don't know if the reasons why I liked it are the usual reasons that people like it for.
Probably people that read the book have a different takeaway than anyone that watches a Frankenstein movie.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with the. It's not even horror. For me, at least, it's not what I would think it is horror. It's an awesome book. It's now one of my favorite books ever. Because it's very, very deep, and I'll probably have to read it again to fully understand it. But yeah, I don't. I don't think.
Yeah. The original movies were actually considered horror. We probably don't see them as horror now because the concept of horror has changed so much. But Bride of Frankenstein is actually a pretty interesting movie. It kind of starts off with Mary Shelley and then Percy Shelley and Lord Byron talking about the book, which is funny.
All right, I'll move to my mom soon. I feel like that would be better within my money. Okay. She said that I would pay less than here. Oh, you still have to? Plus, I will work at her job, which is way chiller. Plus, I will earn more. That is cool. I'll get more time when I move there. Like, here at my dad's place, I need to help out so much in the house, which gives me less free time a day. I understand that. I just remember that most books I had in school, I didn't really read. Yeah, I did not like reading books in school. Like, I read my own books. I did not like the books that the school would make me read at all. Simon Chase, did you remove my comment? I don't think so.
No. What comment?
What comment? Let me scroll up because I don't see it here in my.
I'm not a mod on YouTube, so I can't do that.
You mean the Elon Space Colony one? That's the only. Oh no, reading also makes your imagination stronger, like a gym for imagination. I read it before. Isn't it that? I don't see anything else. Let us know. Well, instead of paying for 150 or 500 per month, we'll go on 250, which is for the food. Okay. That's understandable. And I need to nail that anatomy a little bit.
No, well, maybe YouTube did something then.
I just don't see it at all, even in the chat. I would see it if YouTube removed it, I guess. What was it about? Can you say it without saying it so you do not get like blocked again eventually? Oh, I've got some really nice designs here to get inspired by in terms of patterning on the back. Well, as well, I have a whole house to myself because it's basically two separate houses. Okay, that's pretty cool. Fiddle, are you gonna move Kim in? I'm kidding. Or I'm kidding. Huh. The Smurfs are communists. They were a socialist cartoon comic book originally, as far as I know. Oh no, Saman, we didn't see that. I don't think it's there in the back. They said AI replacing human imagination will be the same as pornography replacing actual sexual activity between humans.
It must have flagged something in your original comment.
I think, yeah, it's probably flagging some of the words. So let's expand this. It's maybe. I don't remember much of the Smurfs, honestly. I watched them when I was a kid. Didn't have any complaint. I just said that originally it was. Then it probably went sideways from there. But originally it was like a socialist thing. It was supposed to be like the perfect socialist society, basically. Then I have not read it. I've only watched the cartoon when I was a kid, so I have no idea.
I remember Smurfette.
Yeah.
It's like, it wasn't like the whole village, all guys, and then her. Were they all?
Yeah, that was extremely strange. I didn't think about it when I was a kid, but looking back, it's like, why was she? How did it reproduce?
Yeah, they're not gonna last long.
She's either extremely tired or she makes a lot of kids.
Yeah, Saman, I think it's just YouTube and the algorithm is messing up on you.
There are probably some flagged or banned words. Like the word with is. I don't want to get banned as well.
I think the world of Pokemon is socialist too.
The world of Pokemon? Why?
I mean, who's running all these Pokemon centers giving away free healthcare and everything?
That's right. It could be.
Utopic vision where humans and Pokemon all live in harmony, but they're kind of ambiguous about where food sources come from.
That is a scary thing, actually.
They actually, when the games first came out, they weren't that ambiguous because, like, one of them was Farfetch'd. His like Pokedex said that they were basically being hunted and used for food, and it feels like they shied away from that for a little while, but it was always like a thing in the background, I guess. I think what changed that was the anime, because the anime was geared towards children. And so they didn't want to talk about certain things like that. Like, oh, your cute little Pokemon friends are also being eaten and hunted.
Of course.
But, like, logically, I mean, what's going on in the world, you know?
Yeah. Forgot the cheese. Oh, I got banned again? Someone?
Smurfette was an experiment by Gargamel? Is that true?
I'm not sure. It might be. It could be.
Oh, yeah. She was created by the evil wizard Gargamel in order to spy on them and sow jealousy.
Okay, I see what that means then. I see.
However, she decided that she wanted to be a real Smurf, and Papa Smurf cast a spell that changes her hair from black to blonde as a sign of her transformation.
Oh, I remember her having black hair, yeah.
Yeah, well, black hair women are evil, and blonde hair women are good. So. At least that's how it was in the 50s.
Well, actually, yeah, even in Magica Dispel, from the Scrooge comics, she's got black hair. And I believe she's Italian, actually. Who eats Pokemon again? Well, I mean, in the universe, they do. They did.
That was the thing in Golden Silver too. The Slowpoke tails that you can get. I mean, they cut off the tails of Slowpoke and eat them.
Oh, well, I mean, we eat animals in that case, so. It's fine.
I mean, obviously, Pokemon prey on other Pokemon.
Right. I mean, they're not all vegetarians, and they do not all have a trainer who feeds them with those foods. Foods. You can't say foods, but whatever.
I mean, in Generation 5, there's Heatmore and Durant. Like, Heatmore is the fire anteater, and Durant is the ant. And, like, Heatmore's Pokédex entry, here, I'll pull it up. It literally says that. Yeah, it says, it breathes through a hole in its tail while it burns with an eternal fire. Durant is its prey. Using their very hot, flame-covered tongues, they burn through Durant's steel bodies and consume their insides. That's what the actual Pokédex says. So.
Maybe I should change this up, though.
Which, hey, listen, that's logical. So I'll give them credit for that. They're actually thinking about how the Pokemon exist in their environments.
Yeah.
And not just saying stuff like Macargo has an 18,000 degrees Celsius body or whatever it was. Macargo's body is hotter than the surface of the sun.
Oh yeah, right. They made
Okay,
a
here.
live action. Yeah.
Yeah, its body temperature is roughly 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit, so 10,000 degrees Celsius. Flames spout from gaps in its hardened shell. Yeah, so if Macargo existed in actuality, like nothing would exist. It's hotter than the surface of the sun, and there's
So remember, the
multiple
surface
of
of the
them.
sun is
Just
6,000 Celsius, so it's pretty hot.
yeah, you would not
I
be
would
able to live on a
argue.
planet with
I would.
Macargo.
I would argue it's pretty hot. It's got a cool design, though. I like it.
Yeah, it sucks in battle, but whatever.
I never used it. I never really used it.
Well, it's fire rock, which is a trash typing because it's like 4 times weak to water, and then it's 4 times weak to ground, and it's actually weak to rock since rock does not resist itself. And it's slow because it's a snail.
Right. That makes sense.
But it is a cool design, I agree.
Also, one pro about moving is getting away my siblings. Oh, you mean from your siblings? The screaming every day makes my brain think suicide for power. Yeah, it's understandable. Nobody likes screams, I guess. Saman, what do you mean GitHub Copilot got sued? You mean sued like lawsuits? Or suit like suit up? It's good.
Yeah. They were sued.
Oh, why?
Software piracy, open source piracy.
Interesting.
Programmer and lawyer Matthew Butterick has sued Microsoft, GitHub, and OpenAI, alleging that GitHub's Copilot violates the terms of open source licenses and infringes the rights of programmers. I'm skeptical of this lawsuit. I need to see more information.
It's a membrane, so. You cannot wiggle the arms too much, I'm afraid.
You're a noob, Phil. What are you talking about? Actually, you're a boob.
You take it as a compliment. Be careful.
I'm not here. Calling someone a boob here is like calling them a dumbass.
Stuff would be like that. Probably something like this.
Oh, hey, welcome back, Shen.
Oh, hey, welcome back.
It's been a while.
You come back and all I hear is boob. Yeah, Chase was just insulting another user. I don't quite like this one, actually.
Do you use, she said she has a device that can detect GitHub Copilot. I know you work in IT. Who's she? I don't use GitHub Copilot.
Me
for my
neither.
work.
Honestly. Let's get this musculature right. Damn it. Yes. Yeah, I wanted to try it out, but it was not available for the languages that I use or I used. I was honestly
Well, why can't we
curious.
be dinosaurs? Do you know how fun that would be? What, being dead?
What happened to my chat? I don't know. Saman, are you on your phone? Might be lagging or something. Maybe kind of
Is your phone auto-correcting your statements?
could also be. Okay, the back. Let's just clean it up and then I'm gonna add all the wrinkles. Because obviously it's a dinosaur, it's gonna have wrinkles. And not feathers.
I haven't seen the movie, but I heard that there are feathered dinosaurs in the new Jurassic World.
There are two.
I think one of them's like the Pyroraptor, and I forget the other.
You only see that like that's one of the most stupid scenes in the movie, except not the most stupid. How can you? So this is the. Oh, wait, maybe I shouldn't say it. It's kind of. It's not a spoiler though. It's not really a spoiler. Well, you see the in the trailer. You see that they are on like an ice lake, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So they basically fall into the lake. It's not a spoiler. It's like pretty obvious. So actually, Owen does, and he just shrugs it off. I mean, you fall in a frozen lake, and you just shrug it off, and like no consequences of any kind. I mean,
no hypothermia.
no, that's insane. Like, come on. I mean, like in the first Jurassic Park movie, they were freezing because they were staying outside, and they were saying it. In the book, but also in the movie, like it's something as simple as Lex being cold because she's it's night, and so they climb up in the tree in the first movie and book, and it's cold, so obviously she's feeling cold, and she says so, and she's trying to stay warm, but here it's like no, well we don't, yeah, we can take down. Parasaurolophuses with our bare hands. It's all cool. We're all cool, right? No. I mean, what if they survived? Do you know how nice a raptor's back part would be on OnlyFans? What?
I thought you said you didn't have an imagination. Where are you coming up with this stuff?
Let's be understanding towards him.
Does this mean like when you're feeling naughty, you make Kim wear one of those stupid dinosaur costumes, the brown ones that people like to wear?
Like the one with the giant head?
Yeah, like the T-Rex costume that you see
yeah,
everywhere with like the big floppy
Yeah,
head.
yeah. Oh, Fiddle. Fiddle. Get a hang of yourself, man. You get a hang of yourself.
You're gonna give her one for Christmas now? How much do those cost?
Probably a lot.
I would imagine not, but let's see. Tyrannosaurus suit. Men's T-Rex inflatable suit, $45.
Oh, well. I expected worse. Hmm. This one looking okay so far. It's got better with some little patterning. Though I'm gonna have to figure out the foot exactly. It's not looking good.
I think it's more logical if they had hair. Dinos with hair is kind of cool. Well, a lot of them, that really it. Like the T-Rex, for instance, it doesn't really have feathers per se. It is more like hair on the body.
Yeah, a little bit of fur.
I'll give her puffy handcuffs. I've given that to somebody as a gift before. We actually, when I was a manager at a store.
Wait, you cut off. Wait a second. Otherwise, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Did I get cut off?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was saying, when I was a manager at a store, we sold those fuzzy handcuffs for Valentine's Day. And I mean, there's like $1 or something. And I sent a couple to my friends in the mail. A married couple, I know.
Well, I guess they're into something.
I don't know. I just sent it to them in case they needed it.
All right, Dino tail. I should have handled the tail here. Yeah, he was a manager.
Yeah, I've mentioned that before. So people would come speak to me if they needed to speak to the manager.
Hold on, someone's calling me. I don't know this number. Just shut up. Me.
And that did happen. A fair amount, by the way. Right. I got yelled at a couple times by angry customers.
Well, you say, yes, I am the manager. Hello, have a seat.
It's okay. Whenever people get angry at me, I just make them look stupid. I had a guy yell at me because...
I don't think that helps.
Well, I mean, I just didn't care. Like, I was doing my job, and then... So, like, the girl would be running the register, and there'd be a line of people, right? And they would have to call me up because I would be in the back, like, stocking stuff. So I'd have no idea if there's a line of people waiting or not. So she would call me up, and then I go up and open up my own register, and I remember one guy started yelling at me. He's like, every time I come in here, I have to wait in the line. And I'm like, well, that's why I'm opening up the register right now, so you don't have to wait. And he's like, well, this is ridiculous. You're not going to get any of my business. I'm like, cool, you can leave. And he did. He just walked out, and everyone just kind of scoffed at him. But...
Funny to do, though. That's pretty funny.
I mean, it was just like, yeah, the problem is that the line was long. I'm here to solve the problem, and now you're yelling at me because I'm solving the problem. Go get bent. You can't complain about the problem, and then when I'm solving it, complain that I'm solving it. So.
Again, like this leg. Are we a ligament?
Saman asks an important question. Are there any gay frogs in the UK, Nemo?
I don't know. I don't live in the UK.
Yeah, he lives in Italy. Everyone's gay there. I kid, of course. The gayest country is America.
That might actually be true.
It is true. Haven't you ever seen our international embassies with the pride flag on them?
No. I have not. Maybe something about this leg here that bothers me. It's the...
I remember one time when I worked in a store, I had an old man fixing his bags before paying. I looked away for like 3 seconds and he was gone. I can say that I just left it there and rang up the next person. Wait, so he just left without paying? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe a problem for your business.
I had a guy come in one time to return items, and he like returned used clothes, which is we had to tell him that you can't do that. Like you can't wear a pair of shoes, wear them out, and then return them.
You probably shouldn't. Wait, you thought it was France, but you asked me about the UK? Why? Do you sound French?
No.
I can sound French. Probably. Oh, let me see this anatomy sheet here for the Allosaurus. How do you... Oh, you... No.
Nemo speak French.
Oui. Je parle français.
Je ne sais quoi.
You can only say that.
Français. Huh?
You can only say that, right?
I could say more than that. That's just one of my favorite phrases. Other than raison d'être.
Okay. I don't know what that means. But I'm not French.
It's like, it means like reason for being.
Oh,
like a person.
raison.
Raison d'être.
I see.
Yeah.
If this big muscle here and the smaller muscle there, and then this goes here.
That doesn't surprise me, Fiddle.
Sweetness first. That's also a repetition. Let's correct your grammar, Fiddle. Chase is gonna do it.
What?
But you can say most and the superlative in the same sentence, right? In English.
What is what is the most gayest? You would just say what is the gayest. It's redundant.
See, Fiddle, read more. But I know a lot of people who do that, who make that mistake anyway. Even native speakers.
I don't usually police people's normal chat. It's different when you're like writing an essay and editing it, though.
Oh, I was absolutely obnoxious and annoying when I was a kid. I was policing people on that.
Oh, that's hard to believe.
Really? Is it? I was extremely annoying as a kid. Well, I mean, I still am. But it was also annoying as a kid. It didn't get any better. If anything, it got worse. Not only a police
Sure,
people.
getting married didn't help.
No, it didn't. It didn't at all. It didn't help the least. Oh man, I should have really studied more. I'm gonna get an Allosaurus.
Every person I know that gets married always develops the cringiest humor.
Right.
Dad jokes are definitely a thing.
Yeah, I can understand why. Okay, so I wrote Allosaurus anatomy on Google, and this thing came out. Okay. Come on. Oh no, there's better. Oh yeah, this is an Allosaurus. Okay, though it's kidsdinosaurs.com, so I can, but I get better books for my son. I would never give him a book like that has this kind of representation of an Allosaurus. That can be any dinosaur.
Yeah, it literally could. That's just a generic dinosaur.
What's the worst part with being married? That's really hard. Everything. Having to put up with some person's BS, even if you don't want to, because you have to. Something like that.
Your wife divorcing you and taking half of your stuff? That would be
Well,
hard.
he said it about marriage, not about the post
Divorce
marriage.
is a part of marriage.
It's still, well, you can say it's a part of it. Well, you can say, yeah, like death is part of life. Yeah, you can say that. Maybe this one is a little better for the leg. Hey, come on, zoom in, Allosaurus. This is Britannica. Okay, Britannica. I trust Britannica. So this is the other leg. All right. So this. Yes. Three little fingers and three little toes.
If I get married to Kim, she won't have much money to get from my side. Well, that's probably a good thing, because then she's not marrying you for the money.
Yeah, that's really good. She will 100% or three times more than me because she's going to be a programmer. It's possible.
I don't know what it's like. In other countries, like in Sweden and Italy, for instance, do you guys have what's called no-fault divorce?
What does that mean?
Like you can get divorced for any reason at any time?
No. It's not easy to get divorced here.
Yeah, so like in America, we have no-fault divorce, which means that you can end a marriage without showing any wrongdoing by either person. So basically what that means is like,
if they agree, you mean if they agree?
If they both agree to it? Yeah.
Because that's like an amicable divorce here, and you have that, as far as I know. But I don't know about just cause. I don't think just cause would be accepted.
Well, that is accepted here. You can get divorced just because you don't feel like being married anymore.
Yeah. That doesn't help people taking responsibility for what they do. I don't know. I think I don't feel like it is probably a little weak as a motivation.
Okay, yeah, Fiddle. It seems, Sweden has no default divorce as well. Not every country does. In some
Why
countries, you
would
actually
anyone
have
want to
have
end a marriage
reason.
for no reason? Well, right. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, at least they should have some kind of reason. I don't feel like seems like they don't take it seriously, maybe. I don't know. I think there should be a lot of... First, it should be harder to get married. And it should be also harder to get divorced. Because you gotta know what you're going after, what you're getting into. So you gotta think about it really well. Because people nowadays take it very... too easily. It's like, oh yeah, sure, it's just this. And in any case, it goes bad. I would just get divorced. It's not that easy.
Unfortunately, there's a culture here of like men at a certain point feel like they should get married, and so they basically marry the first woman that's interested in marrying them, and it usually ends wrongly. And I always advise against that. Don't get married just because you feel like you should. It won't end well.
Yeah.
What about a forced marriage? You would want to get out of that. Depends on what you mean by forced.
There is no
Are you talking
forced
about
marriage here
arranged?
anymore.
Yeah.
You can't force anyone
If you're
to
talking
get
about
married here.
arranged marriages.
At least in the West. I don't know about the Middle East, but here you can't. You can't do that. Fortunately. I want to get rid of this. And you shouldn't be. It's a tragedy in and of itself already, so can't imagine how awful it is if you're forced to do that.
I think so too, but I just remembered we are from different cultures. Here, people get married for religious reasons. Yeah, I mean, marriage in the West, at least America, is not strictly religious. It's more of a business
Neither it is here.
arrangement.
Yeah. Can't get this foot right. God damn. Damn, man. First, how are the bones of the Allosaurus? Let me see. Oh,
Yeah, South Asia and Africa has a lot of forced marriages, so if it was hard to get out of one, that would be worse for the victims of it. I don't know, I have conflicted feelings about arranged marriages. It's always like an issue of moderation for me, right? Like, yeah, it's nice when people have the freedom to make choices, but also I see that when people have the freedom to make choices, they don't make good choices. So it's always like a balancing test between the two.
Yeah, Fiddle, that's why I said it should be harder also to get married. I was not considering forced marriages, obviously. First, it should be. It's a complicated matter in any case. It's not something I'm familiar with because it doesn't just happen here. It doesn't at all. So I have no idea. Never really had to think about it. Oh, bless be Turbo Squid. So we're good. No, you'll run away.
Yeah, there's no arranged marriages in America. People make their choices, and they usually make bad choices.
It's pretty much everywhere nowadays. So, United Town's gonna be.
Which, hey, you have the freedom to make bad choices. I agree with that. I have the freedom to ridicule you for your bad choices, too.
I guess that's a fair point.
So please don't come crying to me when your marriage doesn't work out. Sorry. Let's make everyone married to each other. I don't think that's the right. I don't think that's the right solution.
Probably not. Damn, this foot.
Universal polygamy.
Probably not. See, this should go probably down. This is a little shorter. This is longer.
Wow, there's only like 5 more minutes until the stream's over.
Yeah. It was just
stream went by fast today.
That is true.
I guess we talked about many subjects that had really little to do with dinosaurs.
Yeah. Oh, it's fine.
Like the concepts of reading and marriage.
Maybe I should put my streams in the just chatting category. It's fine though. It's better. I prefer talking about something meaningful rather than just blabbering about. Oh yeah, I'm pulling this line now.
Watch as I put 3 marks on the knee here. You see, the reason I do this is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not convinced by that. Should probably add a little more anatomy to it. There's a tendon here going in, and then there's sort of fascia here.
I talked with Nemo about this before, but I'm thinking about doing like a daily 1-hour stream that's just like a podcast, basically, but with a live audience that I can talk to. Or I basically just pull up news stories for the day and discuss them.
Oh.
But if you're not into like social or political discussions, you probably wouldn't like that.
We're all here above 24 years old. We are dinosaurs. God, I want to quit my job soon. Wait, did you say you will move in August? Or did I get it wrong? I thought you said you will move in August, not February. February's not that far. August clearly is. At least a little further. Well, it's like 1 year almost. So.
Oh, he says he'll start uni in August.
Oh, okay. I got it wrong. I think this is weird.
Well, have fun moving with your mom. You've said many great things about her on the streams.
I kind of feel like a little bit of sarcasm in this thing you're saying. I don't know if it's just me. I perceive it. There's a disturbance in the force.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Yes. It is. Mostly. Disturbing. You know what? I think I kind of feel like the body's a little short. Like the belly is a little short. See, I was hoping to finish this today, but it doesn't matter. And I guess it's gonna have flat colors, so this probably needs to be higher up. The other leg.
Why do you think it needs flat colors?
What?
Why do you think it needs flat colors?
No, it's not gonna be like fully rendered.
Yeah.
That is one big pile of shit.
Which one? Who posted that? Who used that?
Fiddle.
Oh, Fiddle. I appreciate
That's an image of him looking at his mom.
Ah.
I'm 24 and someone called me a boomer because I was talking about how everything is a subscription now.
Well, it is true, and everything has a subscription now. So.
Boomer is just a generic insult at this point. So.
Yeah, it doesn't really mean that anymore, honestly.
It's the same thing with incel. It's been used so much. I saw somebody call Tucker Carlson an incel, and he's got a wife and like 4 kids, so it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Oh, well. Yeah, the meaning of words is getting lost.
It is semantic satiation.
Yes, okay. I'm going to stop here. Got some decent progress. I hope more, but this is not too bad. I'm just mapping out some muscles so that I can later know what to shade. Not exactly shade, but kind of shade. Maybe it's going to have some little shading. And I want to add some more of those rocks, maybe somewhere else in the body. We'll see. And I'm probably going to get a little more reference for the anatomy itself because I don't feel like it's correct. I mean, the front leg is probably a little better, but it's very approximated. And I should do more dinosaur studies probably at some point. Anyway, let's try to find someone to raid. Yeah, the other foot is smaller also because it's got a different angle, but it is a little smaller, so I'm gonna have to adjust it. So I want to raid someone who's playing Jurassic World Evolution.
Is that one guy not on anymore?
Is he online? No.
Okay.
I don't think he is. Let me check. Because I found a guy before. He seemed fun. Where did I put it now? Is it still here
No,
somewhere?
he's offline.
He's offline. Okay. Let's see. Let's see about this one. Let me see just a second, real quick. So okay. Does she speak English? She doesn't speak at all.
Perfect woman.
I said that in another stream, actually. About this, let me see.
There's a Jurassic World Evolution 2. Is that already out?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, let's
That's not something I ever want to live through again.
let's raid this Jurassic John guy. Jurassic John.
Jurassic John. Huh.
Incels are happy about how Japan is making sex dolls. They always did. And they also have doll pillows, technically. All right, Fiddle. I'll see ya, and I'm gonna raid here. I'm gonna raid this guy, Jurassic John. See? So everybody, thanks for joining today, and we're gonna be back tomorrow with this atrocious Atrociosaurus. Okay? With maybe a smaller head tomorrow. We'll see. All right? You guys have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.